Larry Wheels.
Yes, sir.
Back to Dubai.
Yes, sir. Good to be back.
King of Table.
Yes, after a long layoff. It's good to be back.
It's King of Table is kind of your baby, you know that.
Of course, absolutely. It's all grown up now.
You have to
KOT 9.
take care of your baby. Come on, man. We missed you.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It's been a few months I've been in Dubai, and I think nearly a year now since my last KOT match. So we're rolling, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for the warning. So
you should just feel when cameras move around. You should feel.
My third eye wasn't working good enough, I guess. So we all know what happened in Germany with Leonidas.
What happened in Germany?
Right. So I got absolutely smoked by Leonidas in front of 5,000 people. So that was a big sting. And now when I win this weekend, it's not going to hit quite the same because KOT, we usually have a small, intimate audience. I wish I could do it again over there just so I can have that big crowd watch, but this is what I have to do.
Yeah. What is it, Oktoberfest crowd, right?
Yeah, massive crowd. There couldn't have been more people.
Yeah. And of course, they all were happy to see you lose, right?
Of course, yeah. See, their pride and joy, Leonidas and his home country, kick my ass. Absolutely, they're ecstatic. Crowd went wild.
So this is your moment for. So Leonidas' left is good. I always thought that your left was always better than your right, but maybe they're just closer, right? Because everyone's right is better. Yeah. Not everyone's left is good.
Right. Arm wrestlers don't typically train their lefts nearly as good as their right, as often or as intense as their right. In my experience, everyone that's come to Dubai has been a right-handed arm wrestler, with the exception of a couple of people.
Yeah.
And that gives the illusion that my left is much better than my right, but really just the people I'm arm wrestling don't train their left as much as they train their right. They don't prioritize their left hand.
Everyone's right is just
levels above their left. I mean, even Dave Cheat, for example, if I arm wrestle Dave Cheat left-handed, you think, whoa, his left is amazing, but Dave doesn't care about his left.
That is true.
I train my left as much as I train my right, so they're balanced. And I can't say that's the same for most arm wrestlers that I've faced recently.
So, you just were on Olympia stage?
Yeah, I was on the Olympia amateur stage.
Yeah, I saw you. You were so skinny. Not skinny. You looked shredded as fuck.
Dude, I was decrepit. I was like, look, I was on death's row. I look at the photos now, healthy, and look at myself like, whoa, that was scary.
Plus, you gained like 50 pounds, right? 60 pounds?
So I've literally gained 53 pounds since then. I'm very close to my all-time biggest, which is 136 kg. I'm 128 right now. And I thought the weight that I gained post-show would just disappear after a couple of weeks. Like, it's mostly water weight. I haven't lost a pound. I haven't lost 1 pound. I'm like, why is it sticking? Your body was fighting it too hard, right? Exactly. It was starved for calories, and I'm full. I feel super strong now. I just did incline bench, 200 kg for 9 reps a couple of days ago, which is actually my all-time best with that.
PRs are back?
PRs are back. PRs are back, baby, And, my elbow, wrist, everything feels super recovered, super fresh. Going up into this match, it was just a few short weeks between the Olympia stage and the super match with Leonidas, so there wasn't any time to actually get stronger. So the best thing I can do is work on strategy, work on my setup so I don't get dominated in the setup, and come into the match fresh, right? There was no time to get strong, just a couple of months. I had to, because if I were to have hard training sessions and really try and push PRs exactly, I would go into the match, beat up, bruise, and it would, I think, be worse than going into the match now, super fresh and strong. So I did the best I could with the time I had to work with.
Table practice, did you once a week or did not too much?
So table practice was bi-weekly. I work a lot with Derek Smith. I think he's brilliant. My coach out here was Max Polachuk. Mm-hmm. Love him. I wish I had him in the States, but Derek is nearly as good, just as good if anything. I mean, Derek has over a decade of experience, and whenever he came to Dubai, it was always a great learning experience. And when he was present at my last matches, my tournaments I've had in the States, I mean, he told me to make these small adjustments that really made all the difference, and I won. Like, for example, with Tony over in Mexico, I had a big match with him where earlier in the year he smoked me, but this time Derek was present, and now I was able to get the edge on him with a couple of small adjustments that Derek had me make. So I love working with Derek, and I have a strategy that we devised to beat Leonidas, which I think is going to work really well. He's not always right. We had a strategy for him left-handed too, didn't work, but most of the time he's right. So I'm not gonna keep switching coaches, and now that I'm finally settled in LA, I can work with just one coach, and that's what I've needed this whole time, right? Too many cooks spoil the dish.
That is true.
I've had every coach and all the best arm wrestlers here, and it's just too much information. And when it comes time for game time, show day, and I hear something from Devon and something from you and then something from Max, and I don't know who to listen to.
It's all, yeah.
You know, if I had one coach, whether they're the best or not, train me from day one till now, I'd be at a different level, right? Much as I appreciate everyone's information and got to learn from everybody, now I have the opportunity to just stick with one coach, whether he's right every time or not, and just stick with him, which is going to be Derek.
Yeah, you had very interesting learning experience, right? You brought everyone here, and you try to pick their brain. And most of the things that, like, I don't know, like Devon talked about, I talked about, you will get just years later, you're like, right?
Yes, exactly.
Because it's an arm wrestling, it feels like it's so small, but it's a lot.
It's
right?
so many layers to this onion. Like Ryan always said, there's so many. You peel back one layer, and there's another couple hundred layers to go. You know, you think you figured it out, and then you still got so many more layers to peel. So that's what keeps me so interested in the sport. You know, just when I think I figured it out, no, still got a long way to go, right? And that's what I find so fun about it. I love the challenge. I love that, you know, I'm so far from mastering it. I'm not nowhere near the king of the hill, so I have so many more years to develop in arm wrestling, and that makes me excited.
So a lot of people just assumed you kind of quit arm wrestling, and I said, Larry's arm wrestling in the States all the time.
Yeah.
Practices, you went to competition. We saw each other in Arizona, right?
That's right,
You did
yes, sir.
great in Arizona, just really great.
Yeah.
That was already huge improvement. This match, like last times, you kind of get gassed out.
Right, exactly.
Are you worried about that happening because you're bigger now? You just gained some weight.
Right, and what's going to make the biggest difference now, and would have made the difference in the last match, is just not playing my opponent's game, because they know exactly what to do to win, right? Okay, I'm going to gas Larry out, blow up his arm in the first round, and then he's done, right? So really just trying not to play their game, you know, have a much more relaxed approach in the setup, and speak to the ref. I got to speak up, you know, when Leonidas is trying to push me off the pad and me trying to fight back, and all that, every effort I put to try and fight back Leonidas and not speak up, I'm blowing up my forearm. That means I'm losing before the round even starts, right? And that's what happened in the last match, you know? I was blown up before round one because I'm just trying to fight him, play his game in the setup, and then next thing you know, my forearm is blown up, I can't close my hands, you know? Happened with Brandon Allen, you know, happened with Schoolboy, happened with everybody. So now I know exactly how not to do that, you know, with the advice of Derek Smith. And I'm going to take that strategy to this super match coming up this weekend. And I feel like this is going to be my best performance yet. You know, because as long as my hand stays fresh, I'm in the game.
I think it's on the card. It's one of my favorite matches because I think there's a potential. It could be very, very interesting. Both you are strong guys coming in from different sports to arm wrestling, right? And Leonidas is really good arm wrestler, and you are. So I think it's an excellent match. Can anyone beat Devon?
No one. See, I think you're only beating Devon if you can pin him quickly. Yeah. But who can do that besides Levon? I think his Georgie, right? I think Georgie is close to Devon, absolutely, if not even edging out Devon a bit in raw power. But is it going to be enough to end that match? And even if he ends it quickly the first round, how about the following rounds? Because Devon just has this super stamina, or even if you get him in the first round, right, it's just his strength doesn't decline, where his opponent's always does. So the only time I've seen Devon lose so far is just been with Levon because he pinned him quickly, you know. And even when Devon got a stop in that match, Devon got injured the next match. But I think if he didn't get injured, he could have potentially turned the tides and gassed out Levon, and he would maybe had the win. But we'll never know, you know. I would love to see that rematch in the future, but I really do think Devon is right now number one, number two in the world, and Georgie may be a close second to that. I still give Devon the win this time around, you know. I just don't think he's going to have the raw power to finish the match quickly. And what are your thoughts, though? I'm always wrong with these predictions, by the way. I'm wrong every time. Every time.
Poor Devon. Poor Devon. You know. Yeah, you just got thrown on there. But no, I think it's very hard to beat Devon in 4 rounds. You have to beat him 4 rounds. It's like taller. You have to be, like you said, that much quicker, that much stronger, like Levon was, right? Yeah. We don't see that much often, or you have to be versatile enough where you can stop him like Gennady was. Right? Gennady was able to go to different techniques. Yeah, it's an interesting one. The co-main event, actually, you guys made it happen, but just 2-3 years ago, right?
Right, that's right.
And that was the start of Hermes Gasparini, my friend.
Yes, my favorite arm wrestler.
Yeah.
See, my favorite arm wrestlers are the one that bring the intensity and energy that I bring to powerlifting, because I can relate. When they get excited after a big win is how I get excited after a big PR.
Yeah.
So Hermes, Matt Mass, for example, my favorite arm wrestlers, I can relate so much, and it brings that excitement out of me. So I want Hermes to win, but Vitali's going to take it.
Want to take it?
He's going to take
be
it.
too hard to deal with all that leverage?
It's too much leverage. I mean, we saw it with Devon. I know Hermes has more power than Devon, yet Devon with that height advantage, leverage advantage is too much to overcome. Even though Hermes is stronger, we're talking several inches of leverage advantage that Vitali has over, I think, even Devon. And now Vitali has over Hermes even more. So I don't see the match going good for Hermes. I think he's going to really have a hard time because he's top rope versus top roll, right? And the shorter top roller always has a harder time, like the disadvantage than the taller top roller, right? And I never see Hermes go into a hook, with any of the top arm wrestlers.
Plus, it would be, I think, close to impossible to hook Vitali.
Yeah.
It would be also close to impossible to hook Hermes. So both of them are kind of unhookable, and it's just gonna go one way, sideways.
Yeah. But could he get the floppy thing? Because we saw him get a stop with left arm, right?
Yeah, I think that's the danger. That's the danger one. That's the danger where he could stop and he could get. He knows he can his stopping power there, but could he win from that? That's the real question. Because even with Levin, right, he was always on a B side. He never came back. He was always just defending and just letting Levin gas out. And then the fouls and everything happened. He didn't even get the pin.
And before we move on from that topic, if Hermes does go into a flop early in the rounds, would he be able to have any hand control after that, or it's totally gone everything?
As soon as you give it up, or someone takes it and you continue to struggle, it's gone. Like my best suggestion, we talked about with him on the podcast, I said, first 2 rounds, whatever happens, just try to do as much damage. Like if you can't get what you want, do damage, right? And then you can, like, round 3, 4, that's where, balls to the wall, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
But if you lose it too quickly, there's no taking it back. And then you're just on this, right?
Yeah.
So it's in arm wrestling, it's a weird thing. If you lose the hand and you struggle, like stay without it, you're never gonna get it back. For the later rounds, it's almost impossible. Vitali, very interestingly, Vitali has lost his hand, but then he takes it back. Like keeping it is the hard part with him.
Interesting.
With Revas in the first round, he lost the hand, he got it back, and won after that. Yeah, these. I think these 3 matches, in my opinion, I'm sorry, rest of the card, but these are the main ones. This is what we are here to see. Larry Wheels is back, King of the Table, December 9, live on pay-per-view.
Yes, sir. Please support. Stay strong, arm wrestling.
Damn right.